These are the headlines we're following at this hour. The grand opening of this year's World Scout Jamboree at Saemangeum on South Korea's west coast. 43,000 young scouts are bracing the heat for a range of activities and cultural programs. A staggering 80% of the world's population are found to have witnessed unusually hot weather during last month's record heat. NewJeans tops Billboard's main albums chart with 3 of their songs also making main singles chart in an unprecedented feat for a K-pop girl group. Good afternoon. We start on South Korea's west coast in Saemangeum, where last night saw a drone show, fireworks, and other festivities to mark the grand opening of this year's World Scout Jamboree. 43,000 young scouts from around the world have gathered at the massive campsite despite the heat for a range of activities and cultural programs awaiting them. Our Choi Soo-hyung is there.
The 25th World Scout Jamboree entered its second day in Saemangeum on Wednesday with a variety of programs for scouts to enjoy, as well as the event's official opening ceremony. Despite the long distance traveled and record-breaking heat in Korea, the scouts persevered and showed their resilience.
I became a scout because my family and my sister tell me that Scouts is a very beautiful place to be. It's a very sensational experience.
So this is the place where Scouts actually stay. Here, children set up tents and prepare next programs.
The teenage scouts also share their experiences of setting up the tents themselves on the first day and how they felt during the process.
I put it all together like at 10 p.m. so it was kind of difficult because of the light. It was night, but it was really cool. Everything was perfectly fine.
Former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon was also there to attend the opening ceremony of the Ban Ki-moon Village, close to the Jamboree campsite and named in honor of the former UN chief, where eco-friendly lectures and discussions were held to commemorate the Jamboree. Additionally, the last cyclodiste team from France arrived at Saemangeum after an impressive 14,000 kilometers bicycle journey from Paris to promote eco-friendly practices as well and deliver messages of hope to the young scouts.
So the theme of the Jamboree is Draw Your Dream, and our dream was to make this big challenge to go from a part of the world to the other part. We crossed half of the world, I think, to come here, and it was such an adventure, such an exploration, and we want to say to the scouts in the Jamboree, be explorers and have big dream.
At 8 p.m., the opening ceremony started with an enthusiastic live performance by the Dream Orchestra composed of Korean Scout members. Survivor expert Bear Grylls and K-pop artists also celebrate the event, and thrilling fireworks greeted scouts from around the world at Saemangeum. President Yoon of South Korea, himself a former Scout member, welcomed scouts with a paper airplane flying performance.
잼버리 기간 동안 즐겁고 건강하게 즐기시고 대원들끼리 깊은 우정을 나누시기 바랍니다. 그리고 이 우정이 앞으로 계속되기를 바랍니다.
But amid the positive vibes, there were some safety concerns as some 480 people at the event were treated for heat-related illness on Tuesday and Wednesday. The Jamboree continues until August 12th. Choi Soo-hyung, Arirang News, Saemangeum.
While visiting Saemangeum, President Yoon also attended the signing of a public-private investment deal to build a rechargeable battery manufacturing facility in the country's southwest. The deal is worth 1.8 trillion Korean won, or roughly $1.4 billion US. This came on the first day of his summer holiday during an investment event in Jeollabuk-do province, where he pledged support for a high-tech industrial complex in the Saemangeum reclaimed land area. During his 7-day break, Yoon plans to spend time on Chodo Island, a long-time holiday resort for previous Korean presidents. However, senior official tour reporters Yoon will attend to state affairs whenever necessary during this time and is likely to mull over ways to boost livelihoods and revive regional economies. As an extreme heat wave continues to grip many parts of the world, it has been found that a staggering 80% of the world population has witnessed higher than normal temperatures during last month's record-breaking heat. Our Lee Seung-jae has more.
It's the middle of the day in Iran, yet banks and shops in downtown areas are closed. It's unusual to see these places closed at a time when there's usually a sizable volume of foot traffic. However, with Iran seeing record-breaking temperatures this week, the government declared a 2-day shutdown due to health concerns as the intense heat wave in the Middle Eastern nation saw temperatures rise past 50 degrees Celsius.
I have never experienced such heat in Tehran. I have experienced it in the south of Iran when I was there for a while.
The Americas are also experiencing a brutal summer. The Argentine capital, Buenos Aires, is seeing temperatures 5 degrees Celsius higher than temperatures normally experienced at this time of the year. Over in the U.S. state of Arizona, the region saw a month of temperatures reaching 43 degrees Celsius. Even the cactus, known for resilience against the heat, have been withering away due to the intense weather. And in Greece, too, where tourism has been hit hard due to wildfires caused by the heat wave, a decision has been made to compensate vacationers who are impacted by the mass evacuations there. According to climate change watchdog Climate Central, 4 out of 5 people on the planet had a hotter July, and it says climate change is the main reason for the global heat wave. And global warming will also damage the economy, according to economists. International credit rating agency Moody's predicted that the increase in temperature due to continuous heat waves could shrink global GDP by 17.6% by 2100. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
In the meantime, the devastating Typhoon Khanun has ripped through the Japanese island of Okinawa, knocking out electricity and forcing hundreds of flights to be cancelled. So far, 1 person has died and dozens are injured, while thousands of tourists remain stranded. Yoon reports.
Typhoon Khanun, which means jackfruit in Thai, slammed Okinawa and other islands in southwestern Japan Wednesday. Although moving slowly at roughly 15 kilometers per hour, its strong winds of up to 200 kilometers per hour left more than 200,000 households, roughly 31% of the city, without electricity. According to the local fire and disaster management agency, a man in his 90s died when his garage collapsed, while at least 35 people have been reported injured. Hundreds of domestic and international flights in and out of the Naha airport were canceled on Wednesday, stranding thousands of tourists. And public transportation, including buses, light rail transit systems, and ferries connecting the region's islands, were suspended. The agency also added that up to 200 millimeters of rainfall was expected in the Okinawa region by midday Thursday. The Japanese Meteorological Agency predicts the typhoon that's currently moving northwest through the East China Sea will turn northeastward by Friday, potentially heading to Japan's third largest island, Kyushu. Though the typhoon is not expected to approach the Korean peninsula, waves around Jeju Island are set to reach 4 to 6 meters, and the far seas of eastern Namhae will see waves 3 to 5 meters high. While Typhoon Khanun stalls in the East China Sea, the heat wave is expected to persist in Korea as the typhoon adds more heat to the hot and humid air already blowing in from the North Pacific High and the Tibetan anticyclone. It will also bring strong winds for the southern part of the country and Jeju Island. Yoon, Arirang News.
Back here at home, South Korea is seeing an uptick in COVID-19 cases in recent weeks, with figures reaching 60% of levels seen at last year's winter peak. This comes as the country has scrapped almost all antivirus measures and is seeking to proceed with its next step of lowering the infectious disease level. Our Shin Se-byuk tells us more.
The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency says the timeline for lowering the infectious disease level of COVID-19 will be handled with more care. According to the head of the KDCA, Chi Young-mi, on Wednesday, the number of new infections is at 60% of last winter's peak. She also mentioned that by mid-August, the daily average of new cases could reach 60,000, with a peak of up to 76,000. In fact, South Korea has seen a rise in new COVID-19 cases for the 5th consecutive week. Last week alone, over 310,000 people tested positive for the virus. That's up nearly 24% compared to the week before. The same official said that a decision on when to lower the disease level will be made after considering various factors such as COVID-19 trends both at home and abroad and the advice of experts. The health authority plans to lower the infectious disease level of COVID-19 to Class 4, the lowest level in the 4-tier classification system, as early as this month. With this adjustment, the remaining mask mandate at general hospitals and other high-risk facilities will be lifted. Also, the government will stop monitoring people who have contracted COVID-19. Regarding the complete lifting of the mask mandate, the commissioner stated that specific guidelines will be announced next week after reviewing the risk that the adjustment could pose to high-risk groups. While the KDCA says it is unlikely for COVID-19 to pose a significant threat again, it expects that there could be 1 or 2 surges a year for the time being. It also advises people to wear masks in high-risk places and to quarantine for 5 days if they test positive. 신세벽 아리랑 뉴스.
On the economic front, the persisting price pressure in the food sector has taken its toll on the restaurant sector. According to Statistics Korea on Thursday, the retail sales index for restaurants and bars in the second quarter of this year saw an on-year decrease of 13.4%, the biggest fall since 2021. The agency said the drop in sales at restaurants was due to high inflation and base effect from a strong performance the previous year. South Korea's foreign reserves have increased for the second consecutive month. Data from the Bank of Korea on Thursday showed that the country in July had foreign currency reserves of $421.8 billion, which was an increase of $350 million compared to the month before. The central bank said the increase was mainly due to the weakening of the US dollar, increasing the value of other currencies held in the reserves. As of late June, Seoul ranked 8th in the world in foreign reserves, overtaking Hong Kong in the previous month. China, Japan, and Switzerland had the largest foreign currency reserves as of June. Recent data suggests the labor market in the U.S. is proving resilient despite a series of Federal Reserve interest rate hikes to slow inflation. According to human resources company Automatic Data Processing on Tuesday local time, private employers in the U.S. added over 320,000 jobs in July, around double Wall Street expectations. The growth was attributed to more jobs in the leisure and hospitality sectors, while manufacturing continued to decline for the 5th month in a row. This comes as the U.S. Labor Department announced the results of its monthly survey for June, which showed a decline in layoffs. NewJeans tops Billboard's main albums chart with their latest album, Get Up, with all 3 title songs from that album also making main singles chart. This is a feat not achieved before by any other K-pop girl group. Moon Hye-ryun has more.
K-pop girl group NewJeans is rewriting K-pop history by sweeping through charts despite only having debuted last year. The group's second extended play album, Get Up, topped the Billboard 200 chart on Wednesday local time. The album's 3 title songs, Super Shy, ETA, and Cool With You, all ranked on the Billboard Hot 100 chart too, coming in at 48th, 81st, and 93rd place respectively. While Blackpink were the first K-pop girl group to top the Billboard 200 chart with their Born Pink album, NewJeans is the first K-pop girl group to have 3 songs on the US-based Billboard Hot 100 chart at the same time. The only other K-pop artist to achieve this feat was BTS. The Billboard 200 chart ranks the most popular albums of the week in the United States based on album units sold, and also converts online streaming and download figures into equivalent album units. It's therefore a chart that reflects the strength of the fandom, which buys the different collectible versions of the albums, while the Billboard Hot 100 chart is based on streaming activity, making it more reflective of what's hot among listeners in general across the United States. NewJeans has also shown excellent performance in online streaming, with its label revealing that the group had reached over 2 billion streams on the world's biggest music streaming platform, Spotify. The girl group broke the Guinness World Record for the fastest K-pop act to hit over 1 billion Spotify streams earlier this year in March, passing the benchmark in 219 days. Experts attributed the group's success to their trendiness and marketing strategy. The Get Up album draws on the current Y2K trend, inspired by UK garage and Jersey club beats, which has been on the rise globally. Its collaborations with brands such as Apple and media franchise The Powerpuff Girls has further boosted NewJeans' trendy image. By also choosing to pre-release its songs one by one, with each individual track having its own music video, experts say that it helped to not only create an anticipatory buzz, but also reinforce the idea that all the songs on the album are worth listening to. As of Thursday, the album's 6 official music videos have over 101 million views on YouTube combined. 문혜련, Arirang News.
For the first time in Korea, a drone delivery service has been launched in an urban area. Now, visitors of the water parks in Seongnam City, Gyeonggi-do Province can order various items using the service. Our Shin-Young takes a closer look at what this drone service means for the future.
Drone delivery services have previously been trialed in remote mountainous areas. But now they're a step closer to being commercialized in densely populated urban areas. Starting from August, Seongnam City in Gyeonggi-do Province has become the first urban area in South Korea to launch paid drone delivery services. From August, it started the service at 2 water parks along the Tancheon Stream.
The area around Tancheon Stream is full of pedestrians and people playing or having picnics, so delivering food by motorcycle could be dangerous here. However, drones can fly along a safe path over the river, providing fast and safe services.
When a customer places an order, a drone delivers the items from a delivery hub 1.7 kilometers away and completes the delivery within 5 minutes. Various items can be delivered, ranging from fried chicken and beverages to water play equipment.
I don't find the drone delivery fee too expensive, because the cost of other general deliveries is similar to, or even higher than this. It's surprisingly fast, and I use the service frequently.
There are many regulations related to drones, such as altitude restrictions, making it difficult to introduce drone delivery services in urban areas. Through this paid service, the drone company and the city is aiming to overcome these challenges.
We're in the process of proving the safety of the drones through thousands of trials. This will allow us to deliver to areas including crowded cities. We're working with the Transport Ministry to improve public perception through paid services.
The service is a part of the Transport Ministry's efforts to establish a standardized model for drone delivery in accordance with the country's economic development blueprint called the New Growth 4.0 strategy.
Starting September, we will expand the drone delivery service to multiple locations. Our goal is to give people first-hand experience of cutting-edge technologies. We expect that it will make a significant contribution to the development of flying drone taxi services.
The Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport is planning to commercialize drone delivery service by 2027, while doubling the size of the country's drone market to 1 trillion Korean won, or over $770 million by 2025 from 2020. Shin-Young, Arirang News.
Let's take a look at what's going on in the world now. In the United States, a federal jury on Wednesday sentenced to death the gunman who, 5 years ago, killed 11 worshippers at a synagogue in Pittsburgh. The 12-member jury's decision was unanimous, which is a requirement for the death sentence to be imposed. It's the first federal death sentence under the Biden administration. Back in October 2018, gunman Robert Bowers entered the Tree of Life synagogue and shot people with an assault rifle. 7 others were injured in the attack, including 5 police officers. It was the deadliest attack on Jewish people in U.S. history. In Brazil, at least 45 people have been killed in police raids targeting drug gangs across 3 states. In Rio de Janeiro, 10 died in a shootout with police officers and 4 others were injured. And in São Paulo state, 16 people, including 2 police officers, died in a 5-day raid called Operation Shield, which was sparked by the death of a police officer there last Thursday. Another 58 people were arrested and guns and narcotics were seized. But the operation was criticized by Brazil's justice minister as being a disproportionate reaction to the original crime. Meanwhile, in police raids in the northeastern state of Bahia, 19 other suspects have also been killed since Friday. Moving on to the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. It was a day of firsts on Wednesday as South Africa qualified for the round of 16 for the very first time. Banyana beat Italy 3-2 in Wellington with an injury time winner. Italy drew first blood with a penalty before an own goal meant the score was level at half-time. South Africa took the lead, but an Italy equalizer meant South Africa were facing an elimination until a goal by Thembi Kgatlana in the 92nd minute won them the game. In other firsts, Brazil crashed out in the group stages of the tournament after a goalless draw in a must-win match against Jamaica in Melbourne. The result means that Jamaica will also be playing in the round of 16 for the first time. And finally, a gigantic whale that swam in the world's oceans 40 million years ago may be the heaviest animal ever. This, according to a study published in the science journal Nature on Wednesday. The study estimates that the animal, known as a Perucetus colossus after its place of discovery, could have weighed up to 340 metric tons. It could have grown to 25 meters long, which is shorter than a blue whale, but scientists say it could have weighed more than its modern-day counterpart. This extra weight comes from denser bones, allowing the Perucetus colossus to swim along the ocean floor. The estimates were made by studying a partial skeleton consisting of 13 vertebrae, 4 ribs, and 1 hip bone. Matthew Ashley, Arirang News.
Good afternoon. Korea is seeing the peak of summertime heat and temperatures look to rise a bit further this afternoon. Gangneung had a super tropical night last night and it will go up to 38 degrees Celsius this afternoon. Meanwhile, the weather agency is forecasting the chance of passing rain in southern areas along with thunder and lightning. But the capital is under sizzling sunshine with strong UV rays at a high of 35 degrees Celsius. Now, the 6th typhoon of the season, Typhoon Khanun, brought heavy rain and wind to Japan's Okinawa region. It's projected to change its course northeastward on Friday, passing through Kyushu early next week or possibly affecting Korea's Jeju Island or south coast. The typhoon will bring steamy air to the Korean peninsula next week. Drink plenty of water, avoid or reduce drinking energy drinks and coffee, and eat light meals instead to stay well in a heat wave. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the international weather conditions.
Now the monsoon season is over, but the sweltering heat is bringing out more umbrellas to block the sun. UV umbrellas have seen a dramatic increase in sales in the past 2 weeks, with a notable jump among those in their 30s and 40s and men, all of whom are not seen as a traditional customer base. And these UV umbrellas do really help, as they can make it feel up to 7 degrees cooler and are 3 times more effective at blocking the sun than hats. If you're planning to get one, go for a black one that absorbs heat better than bright colors. That is all for today. Thanks for watching.